You have to understand, you're coming over here and you have how many training sessions we had? 2 training sessions, maybe 3. So it's very difficult to know all the good players in the country. So it's not like, Bangladesh has open tryouts with all the players and, you can go online, you find every player. You don't know the players. That takes time. It doesn't come overnight. So the players that we have to rely on what happened, who played before, and now we have to look like we play against the U23s. There's some good players in there also that we can say, you know what, those guys need to get a chance to play with us also, just to get a little bit more insight of them. So, but we have 27 players that we had from the beginning. Then you have to look which ones stand out in a training session, and you know how it is. They are not machines. They are players. They are human beings, and sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes you have a great training session, and sometimes you don't. There are maybe players who didn't have a great training session, and maybe we didn't pick them right away because they didn't stand out. So it takes time, and the good thing is that we have a game right away where we can actually throw the players in, and then when we come back, we have another 2 months before we have the next game, and we can, calling a couple players into a camp, or maybe watching them in the league games and stuff, or maybe online, what we can find about him. So, and then in the end, the main focus is on the next FIFA date, September, October, November, when the tournament is. And that's when we have to get the best 23 players in the squad. So I know that at the moment there are players out there. They are maybe they're supposed to be there in the first 11, and they are not here. But we will find them, and then we'll get an opportunity to bring them in, and then they need to show what they have.
What kind of team are you looking for to try and here?
Yeah, I like to play. I told the players I like to play football. I like to, keep the possession on the ball, and playing a system of 4-2-3-1. Would love to play with 3 in the back, but that is kind of a little bit more difficult. You have to have the speed, you have to have the knowledge, you have to have anticipation in the game. You have to read the game very well. So they have to be good in one-on-one. And that's a little bit more difficult. On the safe side, you better play with 4 in the back and make it safe. So the premise is we want to play football. I don't want to chase football. I like to play football. So that means we need to be basically, the basics in football about passing and receiving has to be perfect, or close to perfect. That doesn't come overnight. You get something to drink and you drink, and then you suddenly you have a good touch on the ball. It goes through repetition, and that's what you have to. Repetition comes through training. So we have to have training and training and training. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So everything happens for a reason. So what I found is we need to get that going. That we play football. Second thing is we have to be focused. Every player needs to understand his responsibility. If you are a defender, you have a different responsibility than a forward. A forward, what does he have to do? He has to score goals. What a defender has to do, that we have to prevent the goals, or we have to do whatever we can not getting scored on. That means you have to think a little bit different than a forward, and that's what we need to implement of the brain of the players, that they understand. And again, it's a muscle memory, is you're doing something without thinking. So the brain memory is also doing something automatically without thinking. So, and that is what we have to implement. There are habits, bad habits, that we have to break, and again, like everything, takes time. So we have to bring a new habit in, that they're making the right decision instantly and doing what we need to do. So again, it's we are 180 in the rankings, so 181 in the rankings. There are 180 teams ahead of us who are doing something better we do. So we have to get close to them, and I think it's easy to fix. We just have to start thinking differently. That's what I'm trying to do with the players when we are together and talking about that, and putting little things in front of them. Do this. Like we pressing yesterday, for example. You do pressing, and everybody has to press. If one player doesn't press in the midfield, everything is for nothing. So they need to understand. So we need to show the players in the video when you make a film, and you have that on TV or anything like that, and we have that, we can show to the players, say, oh, look, in that situation, you have to do this. And we have to tell them over and over again that the next time when it comes in that same situation, he doesn't do the mistake again. So he's stepping up. So and that's how we're trying to build the professionalism in thinking. That's the main focus that we have.
The biggest clown football match.
I would love to, but you know, it's so much that you have to. I'd rather watch our game yesterday, cutting stuff out what we're doing wrong, putting in a file, cutting things out we're doing right, cutting that in a file, spending that time on it, and maybe I'm watching highlights about the Champions League. I watched Bayern Munich in the last couple of games, so you can imagine I have seen so many games. I don't know. I don't have an influence in it, so the outcome I don't care. If I have time, I'm gonna watch it. But my focus is right the Bangladesh national team.